Vahallan Papers was started in Lincoln, Nebraska in 1998 in a small one-car garage. Today, Vahallan manufactures its unique custom wall coverings in an 11,000 square foot studio where they employ 12 full-time artisans. Vahallan Papers has become a recognizable name in the residential and commercial wall covering industry and has accounts in all 50 states and in over 20 countries around the world. These are the basic tools you will need to install the papers. To get an exact measurement of the wall space, we recommend you measure the length and the height of the wall in inches and multiply them together. Take this number and divide by 144. This will give you the exact square footage of the wall. Make sure you measure just the wall space. You will need to subtract for doors and windows if they are included in your measurements. After you figure the square footage of the wall, you will need to multiply that number by the overage or waste factor, which we recommend for each installation type. When installing random torn or round patterns, start by laying your paper, which comes in 3 foot by 4 foot pieces, face up on a table. You will need to tear these down into smaller pieces. Be careful not to tear them too small and avoid ripping them into square sections. We recommend random sizes and shapes. Experiment with your tears. If you want a more pronounced tear line, lift up one side as you tear. For a more subtle tear line, pull the paper apart horizontally, left and right. You can use the straight edges on the paper to frame your wall trim. Start by turning the paper over and apply a generous amount of paste to the pieces. We recommend pasting 4 to 5 pieces at a time and laying them aside. This will give the paper time to relax and ultimately give you a smoother wall finish. Vahallan Papers will never be completely smooth on the wall, and texture will vary depending upon the installer and conditions of the wall. Apply straight pieces first and work down the wall, smoothing as you go. Be careful not to work in one direction to avoid a scalloped appearance. Overlap should be kept to a minimum. If a patch piece is necessary, tuck it under the other pieces for a more natural look. When going around doors, take a carpenter square and cut 2 pieces out of a random torn piece without any straight edges. One piece will fit around the top of the door, while the other will go at the bottom of the door. The papers can wrap through a corner without the need for cutting. Continue around the room until the entire wall is complete. Asymmetric patterns are achieved by hanging various size rectangles, squares, or a combination of both. The papers come pre-cut to you in 5 to 6 various sizes, and if you want more, you can cut them down using a carpenter square. Start the application by placing a large plus sign in the center of your wall using a level. You will then paste 4 to 5 pieces of paper, laying them aside, giving them time to relax. Start the installation by placing a piece in one of the quadrants and smooth it out. You will next fill the remaining quadrants, butt seaming the pieces into place. From this, you will start adding pieces until you have the wall completed. With this application, it is important to try to butt seam the paper as much as possible, but it will become necessary to overlap as the wall starts to fill in. Cut pieces to size as necessary. Installations using the same size blocks or rectangles are called symmetric applications. The papers will come to you pre-cut. Our standard sizes are 11 inches by 11 inches, 15 inches by 15 inches, 23 inches by 23 inches, and 23 inches by 46 inches, or any combination of these, such as 15 inches by 23 inches. You will want to start the installation by finding the center point of your focal wall. Draw a plumb line from ceiling to floor through the center point. Begin hanging a complete row of blocks from ceiling to floor along this plumb line. Begin at the ceiling, as the papers may stretch during installation, and the offset will be less noticeable at the floor. Remember, the papers will not stretch back when dry. Once the first row of paper is installed, return to the ceiling and start working in 4-foot sections, top first, then bottom. You may have some areas of overlap in order to keep the blocks on plumb and level, but for the most part the blocks are installed in a butt seam manner. Install the paper moving to the right or left of your center row first, and stop once you have worked the room to above an entry point. Once you have worked in one direction to the entry, return to your starting point and in the same 4-foot sections, work the opposite direction back to the same entry. We recommend ending at a point above an entry. This will allow you to camouflage a block or two that may not be an exact fit when bringing the two sides of the room together. Thank you again for your interest in Vahallan Papers. For more information, you can visit our website at www.vahallan.com. And if you have any questions or need further assistance, please contact us through email at info@vahallan.com or phone 1-866-795-6682.